Hello, everybody. We're live. I hope you're happy. I hope you're having a lovely day. You're not melting if you're in Europe. But I think maybe it's cooler there. But I am your hostess today, Enigmatic Rose 4. TJ is off in a wormhole or a black hole or something. But we've also got Lambert.
Hello there.
And we have Father Loris.
Hello.
All right. We do not have Rosebud at the moment, so there's no baby noises.
Oh, cancel the podcast.
Cancel it. That's it. That's our fourth panelist gone.
Yeah. We've lost our mascot.
It's our guest. Guest of the podcast.
We pick as a mascot one of these. Y'all seen Paradox is having their back to school sale. Have you seen the artwork for it?
It's really good.
I haven't actually.
It is. It's a treat. It is an absolute treat, and I feel like one of these guys should be our mascot for now.
Oh man, whoever to be up for that! My goodness, it's gorgeous.
Legend. I love it. Which part of it is your favorite? Like, there's lots of tiny little details everywhere.
It has to be the American Caesar with his little apple in his back, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that there's some alien with their tentacles out back here in the bottom left who's like, I heart Blorg. I guess it's the Blorg who's also over here on the right side.
The prisoner's trying to get out of the locker as well.
Oh, so this whole salvo has made me feel very old. Like, my goodness.
I do like the Vor janitor as well. That's pretty fun.
That is good.
Or we've got our little starfish dude stuffed in a locker. I guess he's a little geek.
Just looking at it as the decrepit boomer that I am, just like, what the fuck, school? I'm not going back. Like, you can't even remember it at this point.
Yeah, it's been over a decade for me.
Yeah.
And I generally consider myself quite young.
Oh, I stopped doing that as soon as I started getting bad backs.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was still in school when I was getting those. So.
There's a point. J-Man Thunder is pointing out in chat that there's no Victoria artwork. I don't think there is there?
What's the guy in with the sort of judge's wig on next to the starfish?
No, I think that's European.
I don't know, it feels more 1700s, especially with the lace ruff at the collar. By the 1800s, with the Victorian era, they had those really high, stiff collars.
I think maybe it's from the Rule Britannia.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, I think you're right.
But
yeah, pretty sad to not have.
It is a gorgeous piece. And we've got little Chirpy back there.
It might be because there was no Vicky stuff on sale, perhaps?
Yeah.
Maybe. We've got a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, I think most of it's recycled assets. I mean, to have a modern asset for Vicky, right?
That's possible too.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Planetfall is a guy on the left, isn't it? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that with the Age of Wonders.
Very good. Very good game. Like, it's got play by email, which more games should definitely have.
As an option, not the only way.
It should be the only thing. No single player. No.
Because honestly, I hate it. I hate play by email.
Love it. I absolutely love it. As a decrepit old boomer with friends.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd love it because you've got like that Welsh internet that, it's not play by email, it's play by, putting a USB stick tied to a sheep's collar and send it off to your neighbour.
all online gaming is play by email in Wales. Oh man. God. It's great. Wow. It reminds you of like being back in school. I don't know if you used to do this as a kid, but take like a floppy disk into school to like transfer your saves over for like Civilization 3 or 4.
No. Can't say I did.
Oh man,
we just played Age of Empires in one of the teachers' classrooms during lunch.
Oh yeah, no, I did that with Wolfenstein. What was it? Wolfenstein? Not. I think it was Behind Enemy Lines, I believe. 3D one. That was pretty good.
I remember a history teacher played Total War. I think it was either Rome 1 or Medieval 1. In class. It was like, he just played it. It's like Fair enough.
Well, just like I'm just gonna play a campaign. You kids just shut up and watch me.
Yeah, pretty much.
How about speaking of shutting up? We're going to talk about the CK3 Dev Diary, which we cannot give opinions on due to NDAs, but we can share what the Dev Diary says to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were going with that segue, to be honest. I had no idea. Speaking of shutting up, what?
Lambert, Lawrence, you two be quiet now. This is a one-person show.
We should have got a guest on who hasn't got the game, just so they could do this entire section.
True.
Oh,
all
but that's
right. Well, for this Dev Diary, we're talking about the legacies, which is something that is entirely new to CK3. And essentially, your family earns, I forgot the actual term, fame? Renown. There we go.
Yeah.
Your family earns renown, and you can choose to spend that renown either on interactions inside your dynasty, or you can spend it on buying legacies, which there are 7 legacies. I can't count.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7.
7
and each
legacies.
of them have got like two rows. No, they haven't.
Yes.
That's just showing the artwork. Never mind.
Yeah, there's just showing the artwork because you can kind of see the artwork behind. If we're looking, it says like House of Warriors cost 1,000. You can see there's artwork behind it, but it's faded. I'm assuming that when you click it, it might show brighter. I don't know, but
It's
they showed us
cool.
both
It's
pictures.
kind of like it's like a sort of Bayer tapestry sort of thing, as it sort of, it's a very long picture like they do with tapestries back then, and I don't know, I just love that. I just like long art. All right, long art is like it's really good. It's very medieval. Medieval people loved long art.
Well, I mean, it's just panoramic image.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it.
So for our first one, we have warfare. So if you want to turn your dynasty into the scariest people on the battlefield, this is the one for you. I would think this would be something that TJ would be all over if TJ was actually here with us today, but he's lost in the black hole, so
Not DJs, is it?
maybe. We just don't know, do we?
No, we don't. We can just make assumptions. I'm sure that's fine.
So, House of Warriors, which is the first stage, gives you an additional +2 prowess for your units. It also increases your effectiveness of your knights. Let's see. And then next we have generational belligerence. So it reduces the cost of going to war. So, if you want to go to war all the time, you want that, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. It's really hard to add anything to it without giving opinions.
Yes.
How much? It's really difficult. This podcast can be awful.
And just think, guys, you have to deal with this from us for this week and next week.
Yay!
On August 2nd, September 2nd, we can talk about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we can say in previous dev diaries, it's been explained already that going to war now cost resources, right?
Yes.
So it's not so much, I guess. Yeah, so it's 20% reduction, basically, to that. Lovely.
And then next we have Squire Traditions. So all members gain +10% more martial lifestyle experience, which is from the Lifestyles Dev Diary, if you go take a look back at that one. So you're encouraging your dynasty to study that lifestyle, I assume.
Yeah. And that'll stack too with your education. Yeah.
And then last one we have second to last one, Inherited Tactics. It's a fantastic legacy for winning wars. You get a +5 advantage while leading armies. Just don't get bopped on the head if that's a thing. That's a big issue in CK2. My ruler's gonna lead the army. He's got 30 martial. Oh, he's bopped on the head. Now he's incapable. How many times have y'all had that happen to you?
In real life? I mean, you can probably infer how many times I've had it from.
Podcast segment with the no opinion is a bit surreal. Yes, Meneth. Meneth, would you like to come in here and talk and join us as well with the no opinions?
So no opinion cast.
So, and last one we have Private Army, which unlocks an additional slot for Men-at-Arms. You can have more Men-at-Arms.
Yeah.
It also gives you access to a House Guard regiment.
And I think Men-at-Arms has been covered in a previous Dev Diary, I believe.
A very early one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's the levies, and then you've got your special units, the Men-at-Arms, which are a thing. Yep. They're a thing. Yep. God. This is really difficult.
They exist in the game.
They do indeed.
All right. And next up we have... Oh, not God. No.
Law.
There we go. I was going backwards. I have the tabs out of order. I'm sorry. I'm not getting enough sleep.
Can I at least say the art is gorgeous? Like, because it's in the Dev Diary.
If it's in the Dev Diary, yes, you totally can.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, I took that bullet. My goodness, isn't it lovely? Like, I love the panoramic effect.
Wait, no, you're asking for my opinion too. I'm not taking that bullet. you do what you want, mate. But
man,
art is a thing that exists.
Burn all my bridges of a paradox to complement the tapestries.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, looking at that, it feels kind of I forgot the name of the town. There was a town in Germany. I climbed up to the top of a hill and where a cathedral was, and we looked out over the whole town. And that's kind of the feeling I get looking at this picture. Like, it feels like Europe.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say definitely the style of the buildings that you can see certainly does seem European to me. The whitewashed plaster on the house on the right with the the wooden beams around it. That's generally what I would consider looking European.
Thing is, all of them are very European.
They are, yeah.
That is true as well, actually. I hadn't thought of that.
They're all, which is interesting since we know that the map covers as much as it did in CK2 and more.
I would say maybe the one for Blood could be somewhere else. Those kind of spired castle roofs, maybe not as unique to Europe. I mean, I would expect maybe that a bit more in Russia, maybe. I don't know. I'm really reaching there.
But the clothing, though, is still very medieval. Maybe it's the Venetians in Byzantium burning things down.
Yeah.
We do have Rapid Boggling in chat saying perhaps long term we'll get religion or region specific art similar to the UI and CK2. That would be really nice.
I would definitely think that would be a thing.
And it also just means more gorgeous art for Father Loris to talk about.
Yeah. Which one of the art pieces is your favorite out of these?
Out of these? Oh, hard to say.
I do like the Glory one, personally.
Yeah. Glory is my favorite there.
Yeah, I do quite like Glory. But I think what I like about it is that it pans along a bit, which I quite like for how segmented a lot of the other ones. I would say the Intrigue one is probably my favorite one, I would say.
Guile.
Yeah, because it sort of tells a bit of a story as you're going along, It's kind of like a tapestry would.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys in the middle are totally going to get it, though.
Yeah, they totally are.
Shafted.
Oh, they're standing out in the dark with bright lights around them. I mean, you're kind of asking for that in CK2.
Exactly.
I suppose.
See, what you don't realize is those archers aren't there really to do the killing. They're actually stood outside a tavern, which has a bunch of horse shit beneath it. It's going to go boom.
Yeah.
That completely just made that up, by the way.
And is the wine poisoned as well?
Possibly, and there's also
Snakes.
just out of eye shot is it's actually a balcony that's gone down.
Balcony filled with snakes.
Yeah, no, beneath the balcony is the snakes, and probably out after you fall in the snakes, then you get eaten out a window. Yeah, you know, bringing it around.
All
Which
right,
one we
so,
were talking about? Law. So, yeah, let's go back to law, I guess.
Law. Back to law.
That thing that everyone really likes.
It focuses on stability and consolidation. So it makes your members of your dynasty very good at being vassals and reducing the chance of revolts.
Which is interesting because generally you wanted to prevent your vassals from being in your family because they'll be like, they're getting a bit uppity and maybe they want to be the king. Sorry, but no. You're not allowed to be king. I'm the king. But yeah, generally, I mean, I liked giving my family members holdings, giving them counties and duchies because for flavor, but it was always a really double-edged sword. So to have
100%.
this legacy to kind of maybe mitigate some of the downsides of that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's always the people who are going to get the claims on your throne, right? And
Precisely.
yeah, exactly. I think it's a lot of things with these things. I think they're designed that way to get them double-edged swords. As explained in the dev diary, right? It's like, especially the espionage ones, like it describes it as you get a free get out of murder free jail cards, basically, but also every single one of your family members do too. So if you're the type that likes to bump off their brothers, I guess they also get the card too. That's an interesting thing. It's very interesting.
It needs to be more double-edged swords in games in
talking
general.
about murdering people there, Loris?
Yeah, of course.
Ever murder anyone in a Crusader Kings game?
Never.
I mean, really?
Who would do such a despicable thing?
It's unbiased.
Murder is a sin. Unless you make your own religion.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Or unless they deserve it. That's open to interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it seems like a pretty interesting. What's it called again? The legacy. That's it. I was about to say dynasty. Yeah, law is a great dynasty. The dynasty of law.
A law dynasty. The dread dynasty.
The head of the family is no longer called, the dynast. He's now the judge.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm looking forward to like the Judge Dredd mod. That's what I want.
Oh god.
I
don't know how that would work.
It would just be set in like one single tower block. It would not be like a...
That doesn't sound good.
Oh man. Oh yeah, that's a challenge to somebody. Make a Judge Dredd CK2 mod. Make a mod that is ill suited to the game that you're making.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a lot of that. Anime, for example.
Oh, of course, yeah. But what is anime suited to really, apart from, I don't know,
ill-suited
Fires of Hell or something?
Yeah, I much prefer your artwork.
Exactly. Yeah, sort of circles with little dots and baby drawings.
Isn't that what all art is? Circles and dots.
Pretty much, yeah.
The smaller the circle, the better resolution the picture is.
We all bow down to the one king that is Poland Ball in the end. That's the thing. The purest
Poland
of...
really blew up something stupid.
Oh, I haven't even ranted about Poland Ball on this podcast yet. My goodness.
I think that, this is probably the first time it's been mentioned.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just going to save that for later.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. Because I don't want to alienate half our audience by complaining about Poland Ball.
I think there's a lot of very much low effort.
What if you break the rules and go murder people with your entire dynasty? What do you guys think of that?
Well, I mean, Loris has already said he's totally on board with that.
Yeah.
Of course he would be.
Suppose that's what you do when you're playing in Spain. Just straight up, just murder your brothers and then, now I'm the king of Spain.
Isn't that what they've been doing in the Paradox stream?
I believe so. I haven't had a chance to actually watch it, but
I've watched the first two. I didn't watch today's one yet.
yeah, I was down for
True. Agamede, or also known as Long Game Short, has some very good shortened versions.
Yes, yeah. In fact, that's what I've been watching. I haven't actually watched a full-blown stream. I've been watching those Long Game Short ones. Very good.
Yeah, I don't have time to watch the full stream.
100% recommend it.
Yeah, he's a really good editor. And I think he's in chat as well. He was earlier.
Quite likely. Also, we've been now joined by our mascot. Rosebud is here.
Good.
Hello.
He was having nothing to do with Dad. He wanted to be held by Mom, so yes.
That's right. Mascot's back. We got a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, we got our mascot back, so we're all good.
And someone who hasn't signed the NDA, so please, opinions come flow.
Now, here's the question. Are NDAs inheritable?
Yeah.
What kind of inheritance law happens to apply to NDAs? Something we might have to ask Harris's PR department.
Yes.
It's gavel kind, so like one kid gets to talk about one section and the other kid gets to talk about another section. You get to talk about gameplay, you get to talk about graphics, you get to talk about
Except there's
modding.
only one kid, so it doesn't matter if it's primogenitor or gavelkind.
Oh yeah, but then you're going to inherit all of the NDA, so, you know.
Yes.
Poor kid.
Yeah. It's rough.
Well, what if you build a legacy that allows you to bypass NDAs or ignore NDAs?
You get a one-off NDA pass.
If you break that one, then you're done.
One get out of jail free card.
Done that. Yeah.
He has opinions. Okay. So we have Guile, which is of course good for murdering people. And I do remember at PDX someone mentioning that while it can be really good because it makes your dynasty really good at murdering people, it also makes your dynasty very hard to murder, which is very problematic when you're trying to consolidate power and murder your brothers that, got all the extra titles.
That's what we were talking about while you're going to get Rosebuds. We were saying it's interesting because, lots of double-edged stuff built into this mechanic.
Yes.
Also, maybe trying to kill your eldest because your second is like way better. And I know you can't generally kill your kids, which is a good thing. Unless you are a sadist, then you can.
Sacrifice them to make you live longer.
Oh, well, we just need to wait until we get our Monks and Mystics. Yeah. If Rosebud inherits it, will Logan too? Possibly.
Of
Though
course.
I will say I don't plan on dying for that to happen, so we'll see.
Ditto on the not dying thing.
Yeah. I think my chances of making it to the 1st of September are reasonable. They're all right. They're all right chances. Decent odds.
Not with that attitude, Lambert. Jeez.
Well,
Come on, try a bit harder.
All right, next, speaking of, trying harder and having kids and stuff, we have Blood Legacy, which is one they showed off in a previous dev diary, which I remember sparked a lot of contention among some people.
Yeah, definitely that.
It definitely did.
There's the two kind of angles to have it be controversial. It's like, first off, it's like the eugenics argument, which is obviously going to be controversial because of the history of what it means. And at the same time, there's the counter to that, which is, well, that's what CK2 had, these, inheritable traits. And it's like, what kind of side do you sort of lean down on? Because I really liked playing the eugenics game. Yay, quotes in the podcast. I've done it again. It was fun to try and get the best traits into your kids. That's kind of what you do in CK2 and for the most of human history as well, I'd say. That's why we find certain things generally attractive in the opposite sex is because of, trying to get the best traits. However, there's, the taking it too far angle, and that's the controversial part at the same time. I think having, inheritable traits should be in the game.
Yeah, I think so. And it also adds, again, going back to sort of a double-edged sword sort of thing, right? You get, if you're going to go for the traits game, I never liked playing it that way, but I liked fishing for marriages a lot more, right? I mean, that's the trade-off, isn't it? I guess you can either go for the good traits or you can get some good alliances. And I guess also related to this Dev Diary too, you also, it's the dynasty renown and stuff. So that's another trade-off that you're working with in CK3. So it's all trade-offs now. So, I don't see any problems with having inheritable traits at all, as long as it's not just it's not just an easy win sort of thing. It's not just you're always going to want to get geniuses and it's always a better option, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's I understand where the controversy comes from, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
And there's also the fact that while blood is one of the legacies, if you're picking it, then you're not picking one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Which could be much more suitable towards your goals. Let's say we have merchant republics in the future and you're going Guile because your family needs to be really good at murdering the competition and staying in charge of the merchant republic.
I like it. Very Venetian.
Yes. Do you want to sacrifice the perks you'll get with Guile just to get good congenital traits?
Yeah.
Plus, you're trading off for bad quote unquote bad ones. Don't you want to have a family that is like all dwarves? That's cool, isn't it? It's way cool,
all right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like a dwarf fortress.
I did there's an achievement in CK2 called Dwarf Fortress, and then I named my stream that when I was streaming to get that achievement. Yeah. And people were dropping in going, wait, what?
Is this not Dwarf Fortress?
Yes.
On an unrelated note, have you seen the remake stuff for Dwarf Fortress?
Yeah, I've seen a few images.
Oh my goodness.
There's actually going to be a UI.
Yeah. And a beautiful embark screen. And it's made by the person who did the Mayday pack, which has always been my favorite graphic pack for Dwarf Fortress anyway. Looks very good.
I will definitely be playing some of Dwarf Fortress when it comes out. I think that there's obviously the Lazy Noob pack for, normal Dwarf Fortress that was quite popular. Yeah. That helped a lot, but it was still not the most user-friendly of games ever created, even with that on. So, just having it be updated and proper mouse controls and all that, just so good.
And also, I guess, for you two, I guess it's probably a lot more streamer-friendly, right? Now, with the graphics and everything.
Yeah, for sure. I'd just like to point out in chat, epic comment. Also, in terms of morality, we're debating that you can avoid the moral quandary of eugenics by just focusing on murder. CK is a fun series. It's not necessarily about being good. Yeah, it's about being advantageous.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is not about being good, right? I mean, it's called Crusader Kings, and I wouldn't say the Crusaders were very good.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, so you either play as the Crusaders, Mujahideen, which obviously are not very good either. Were there any good guys in medieval Europe? It definitely probably isn't, is there?
No.
They probably existed, but I mean, I think this is something that TJ pointed out, maybe in one of his reviews for IGN or somewhere. I think this is from TJ, but if you think about it, every single playable character in Crusader Kings, every single character that exists is basically in the top 1% of the 1% of the people who own wealth in that era. And on the whole, people who live in that bracket, no matter what era you come from, tended to be massive assholes. Mm-hmm. So it just makes sense that we're not good people because we're not playing in a game that has any of them.
That's right.
Yeah, none of them are playable. Almost none of them. There's the occasionally good playable characters.
Oh yeah, I'm sure not everyone was a massive asshole, but some people could have been just minor assholes.
Yeah.
Power is a cutthroat business, indeed, Kazi guy.
It is, and it is the medieval world where basically all wealth was based on a form of feudal slavery, where peasants were tied to the land and forced to work all this entire life. So yeah,
People are just a crop that are tied to this area.
You know, being in charge, our next one we have is glory, which is, you know, getting prestige, opinion, fame, and glory for your family.
But it isn't. The next one is erudition.
Erudition? Oops, I skipped. Whatever, we'll go back to it.
It's now glory.
It's okay. It's now glory.
Glorious. Let's go.
Hurry, glory, hallelujah. I don't know why. Okay.
Yeah, don't make us wait. That'll get stuck in my head because it is miscatchiest.
I'm not going to be following in your footsteps with that one.
This one also boosts your diplomacy lifestyle experience if you want to get earning respect.
Reducing short rain penalty by 20% is nice as well. That's something that I always hated in CK2. Like, you've led by your father's side in many a raid, and you know you're well respected by all your peers. Oh, you're a king now. We hate you. Like, oh, Jesus fuck. We were friends like a moment ago.
Like it's basically to simulate the chaos of a succession, right? Kings just died. Shit, scramble, and then you know people trying to take advantage of that. It's to simulate that. I understand it, but I like it. That's what I'm saying. Keep the short reign. Make it worse.
Well, that's one thing I love spending tech points on in CK2 was Majesty. Because that lowered the short reign negative opinion modifier. Once you got it all the way maxed, it was minus 50%.
Yeah.
You can play a good guy in Stellaris, but can you win as a good guy in Stellaris?
Can you play a good guy in Stellaris?
I mean, you can, but I don't think you can actually win. I don't even know if you'll survive.
I mean, you start out as having unified your planet. I don't think there's many good guy ways to do that.
I always imagined like maybe playing the Federation, or say like the Star Trek Federation. Something's probably the closest. But then again, people always say that's a utopia. I would hate it. Can you imagine working with a Starfleet? It's like a proper military. It's like ranks and stuff. You have to take orders. And I'd hate that.
But you don't have to, right? It's not a you're not interred into that line.
What if you're born on Starfleet though? What if you were born on the Enterprise and then you have to like take orders from like Wesley Crusher? Imagine that. Yeah, can you imagine that? Can you imagine
I don't know enough Star Trek to know if that's a thing.
Wesley Crusher comes into your room and like orders him to like floss his toes. You have to do it.
Honestly, I have no idea Wesley. I am googling it.
He's also the actor's. He got ruined by being Wesley Crusher for a while, but now he's doing really well. He's in the guild.
Straight up, do not recognize this person at all.
Will Wheaton, you probably recognize Will Wheaton, surely.
That's Will Wheaton.
Did you ever watch The Guild?
Yeah, Will Wheaton.
No way. Yeah. No way. I saw him on Critical Role like a week ago. Does not look anything like that now. Jesus,
I know.
Dude changed.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, he grew up. What the hell? You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Well,
the Guild is ancient.
And now he has a renowned name.
Yeah, I know.
I was never a Trekkie. It's never been my thing. So,
I haven't been either, but my sister is, and my parents are, so
my wife
learn
is.
by osmosis.
No, I love Star Trek.
And my wife loves Star Trek. I was more into Stargate.
Terrible.
I saw the movie.
The movie is awful. The movie was awful. The show, Stargate SG-1, was amazing. And then Universe is terrible. Atlantis is passable.
All right. Well, going back a step, we have gradation.
Don't listen to a Star Trek podcast.
We've been lacking Stellaris for a while.
Exactly. There is a Star Trek mod for Stellaris just came out actually, which is really very good.
And there's a Star Wars mod.
I expected a video on it, or
not Star Trek. I think it was Star Wars.
Yeah. That's right. Yes.
I thought it was Star Trek that came out. Something about Federations.
It probably has as well.
Yeah.
I know there is a Star Trek mod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something I
That's
will
true.
look
At least
into
you
at some
are
point.
getting opinions this way, even if opinions have nothing to do with CK3.
Yeah. So this is the CK3 Dev Diary and our opinions on Star Trek. Totally related.
Yep.
All right, so erudition focuses on piety and the clergy.
Yeah, it's like the learning one.
Yeah.
I mean, they point out they could personally, the Dev Diary. I didn't pay attention to that. Labor? Who wrote it? You usually know this.
The word for what? Sorry.
Who wrote the CK3 Dev Diary?
Oh, Meneth, or is this one Alexander Altner? Yeah, it's Alexander. Or this
Alexander.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, Alexander said that he enjoys doing the erudite legacies when playing in the middle of a vast feudal sphere, such as the HRE.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in India.
It's quite nice. It's a nice idea. It's something I really liked in CK too, isn't it? Being like a philosopher king. It's always something very appealing about that.
I think in the middle of the HRE, I think Guile would probably suit better. Because then you'd be at the top of the HRE instead of the middle.
But what if you're not trying to become emperor? What if you're wanting to play sort of a smaller game?
Sorry, what now? Come again?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. My last CK2 playthrough, I've been playing in Iceland. We've never conquered land outside of it. We're getting lots of military experience because we keep murdering all the Aztec raiders that think they can land on our shores.
Oh yeah, I can imagine a bit of a landing penalty would hurt there.
Yes. Well, it doesn't help that I have 12K, between 10K and 12K troops, depending on how much martial my ruler has. And they're landing with anything from 150 troops to 4K troops.
Yeah, I think they may be underestimating quite a bit.
Yes, do not mess with the Irish Han Icelanders.
I think I understand why they're underestimating you.
Well, the Aztecs own pretty much all of Europe, except England now is owned by Bulgaria.
Yeah, the border gore and countries getting bits and plots of land from miles away across the globe was always something that really kind of bugged me about CK2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, Kazi. We have Han. It wasn't the Chinese culture; it was the Chinese religion. It's Taoism, actually, not Han.
Taoism, yeah.
Taoism.
The Han religion.
My ruler. I've had female rulers the entire time, and then everyone voted in a male. And when he came in, he had a Han Taoist wife from somewhere. I didn't marry her, Tim, I don't think. And yeah, now Iceland is Taoist.
Can you get the Confucian bureaucracy now, or do you need to be the culture?
I think he's be an empire.
Ah, I see.
And
Good luck doing that with only Iceland. The Icelandic Empire owns all of Iceland.
I just like the Icelandic imperial bureaucracy. Be a nice idea.
That would be pretty cool. And if
the mandate of heaven.
If the Aztecs would actually finish conquering Norway, then the Norwegian kingdom might get actually small enough that we could form it. But right now we're just a duchy. I don't think it's going to change.
Join the Aztecs, usurp the Aztec Empire, turn it into a celestial empire.
Yeah, no. Because if we join the Aztec Empire, then our 3 great works would be controlled by the emperor.
Ah, I see.
And we have a lovely great harbor, a great university, and a great library. No,
think about how fantastic it would be to have a bureaucratic Aztec Empire, where you're going to get sacrificed, but you have to fill in a form before you do it, you know? You have to write a consent form and a risk assessment before you climb the temple gates, and then before you have your heart ripped out, you have to sign a little kosh sheets and and a waiver.
That would just be horrific.
Beautiful.
Nah.
Beautiful. We have the most closed in panoramic photo. Picture.
Yeah, which I think would probably be intentional, I guess, because it's I don't know. I like it because it's the art style has, it sort of feels like it's got a warm color for palettes, right? And it's also more confined, so it's like a hug, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like
Nope.
It pulls you in. It pulls you in, right? A lot more. If it's a warm color and it's a confined space and people are laughing and stuff, it seems more jovial. I don't know. It's like a pleasant version of being claustrophobic, I guess. You know what I mean?
Sure. It reminds me of the monastery mission
like
from Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah. I've never played that, actually.
You should. I think you'd actually enjoy the monastery mission. You'd be like one of the 3 people that do. You have to translate Latin. It's great.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, you're copying Latin from one book to the other, and you actually learn Latin in the game as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, you should play.
I feel like I've been sated with Warbanner.
So the Kin Legacy is basically focused on making babies.
Yeah.
Making your family as large as possible and have them all love each other. Which I think there's something I really loved doing in CK2 was, sorry, Lambert, starting in Ireland with a single county and then growing my land with my dynasty. So every piece of land was always owned by someone in my family. Building an empire like that with kin as your legacy.
I can see that being a thing. I'd probably not do it in Ireland, but sure, yeah. Why not?
Well, I know you might do it somewhere else. I just would always pick Ireland because you could easily start with one county.
Well, it is a tutorial island for a reason.
It is.
Yeah, and you had history in CK2
that replaces Island with literal tutorial island from RuneScape. If not, we should. Someone please make that mod.
Oh yeah, I'm in agreement. This is where you learn to make a fire. It's Longford.
You have to burn some shrimp on the swimmers before you even start CK2.
Oh god.
I never played RuneScape.
I played it instead of World of Warcraft.
I played it instead of doing ICT in my ICT lessons.
No religious legacy. Well, the legacy for religiousness is the erudite edition.
Yes.
Yeah, it's learning, right?
Yeah.
Which, totally off topic, but this is my view right now, guys. Rosebud is strapped to my chest.
It's adorable.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of your mouse mat. They never worked for me. Those hurt my wrists. I have one big mouse mat that goes from one side of my keyboard on the left-hand side to all the way over, and it's also my mouse mat. So
no, see, great. I injured my wrist back in college. I need that wrist support.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd love to have a larger one.
Has the Union flag on it.
I've got like a little Persian rug one, actually. It's a bit stupid. I love it though.
Oh god, this is my second one. My first one I had to throw away because it got damaged too many times getting stuffed in bags going back and forth between the US and Korea.
Oh yeah. I imagine.
All right.
Just use those like neck supports from the aeroplane. Just use those instead to put that next to your mouth.
You don't even use a mouse mat. James, you're an absolute barbaric heathen. Just
a barber.
You're a barber. Go cut some hair, you bloody fool.
Cutting bastard. How dare you not use a mouse pad?
I mean, you won't be in too much work during, COVID, being a barber. Yeah, it's what you deserve for not having a mouse mat.
That's what barbarians were named after.
Hairstylists have to go get a COVID test every week here in New York.
Really?
Which, if you haven't had one, involves getting this very long Q-tip stuck up each nostril for several seconds.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
I just do that for fun anyway, so not bother me.
That's how we get rid of bogeys here.
Exactly, I just ram them up there. I've got about 8 Q-tips stuck up my nose.
My brain's itchy.
My frontal lobe has got a bit of a scratchy feeling on it.
Q-tip lobotomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I had to get one before my C-section to get little Rosebud out.
It's so horrible for Lambert that he uses the French word for barbarians. Maybe the French are using a different one. I'm using that one. I don't know.
Speaking of using different words for different places or different groups, we do have an EU4 dev diary by Neon DT.
Oh, smooth transition.
Nice.
Yeah.
And, the Europeans had very different names for this part of the world.
Yeah.
Compared to what the local people called it.
Most important,
this area is Vietnam.
Robin Williams said, "Good morning, Vietnam," and ever since, that's what it's been called.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's called Good Morning. Well,
it is. It's near to the land of the rising sun, so,
that's right. That's what Vietnam means.
It's morning in Vietnam before it's morning over here, so therefore, it works. Don't worry about it. Don't think too much about it. Anyway, Vietnam is something we can have an opinion on. What's your opinion of Vietnam? Because that's not controversial either.
I love Vietnam. Vietnam's a glorious country.
It is
I know my husband would go there for work and like their food.
Yeah, the food's absolutely amazing. I was going to go this year, and then I couldn't, obviously.
A couple of decades ago, there was quite a big influx of Vietnamese immigrants to where I'm living now in this town, long before I got here. So there's quite a few Vietnamese restaurants where I'm living. And Vietnamese food is fucking great. Just absolutely the best place in town is Vietnamese place.
I don't know why, but I love the Vietnamese noodles. Probably just the thing that...
The buffet.
Yeah.
Because I have all of it.
Now, what I find most interesting about Vietnam anyway is how it is a crossroads of civilizations. It's stuck between all the Islamic empires in the south and the islands, the Spice Islands. You've got the Thai countries, Cambodia, and then you've got this huge cultural behemoth in the north of China, and then obviously Japan was incredibly dominant later in the century beyond the EU4 timeline. So it really is this like huge melting pot, and of course the French influence too. I mean, right, because it was French Indochina for a long time.
Well, and then you also have the geographics. The fact that there's the mountains, there's jungle, it makes it hard to consolidate power in many ways.
Easy to defend. You're probably not going to have too much luck invading it,
Yeah, and well, in the EU4 timeline, the Chinese certainly invaded Vietnam and has plenty of skirmishes with Vietnamese and weren't so successful, but very limited success, I guess. It's probably a better way of doing it. And the dominant religion of China, although in EU4 it's down as Confucianism, in real life, it's various like local religions in China, but biggest is a Vietnamese branch of Buddhism.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't want to pronounce it because I know I'll butcher it. Begins with an M.
Give it a go. Give it one of them old college tries. That's a saying, right?
Marahava? Oh, I probably fucked it up.
Never heard of it. Never heard of your pronunciation of it anyway.
Yeah, you probably recognize it.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah, no.
Yeah, of course, that one. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Mariana. Sorry, Mariana? Buddhism?
Mariachi
Buddhism.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is for basically the dominant Buddhism of China, but it didn't really play into EU4.
Well, we do
maybe in a future
missions, which speaking of them being surrounded by powers, there's defy Ming, Japanese relations, subjugate Cambodia, subjugate a whole bunch of places actually.
Yeah. It's very powerful. I mean, I imagine that would give you a CB just to vassalize them no matter their size, I imagine, right?
I think they're like the 60 war score ones to subjugate. I have a feeling, well, it's not a feeling, these latest raft of dev diaries for these Asian nations, there's a whole lot of subjugate. That's like the theme, I guess, of the recent dev diaries is subjugation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think every single one we've had so far has got at least some subjugating going on in it.
That's right. And I just hope there's certain mechanics associated with it, because we've seen a lot of mission trees at the moment, but we've not seen any wider mechanics. We haven't seen something, say, like the Shogunate system or the Mandate of Heaven, or something that is, or even like the estates that you have in India. There's nothing that has been particularly unique. You get unique estates, but it hasn't been huge change to the gameplay of those nations. So I'm hoping there'll be something to do with subjugation down the line, in a similar way you get with the Aztecs, for example, where really a lot of their gameplay is built around subjugating and reforming a religion, right?
I mean, I think maybe for the Aztecs it maybe shouldn't be. It's like their flower wars were less about, oh, you're now our vassals, and more like, we're just going to take a few dudes to, stop the sky falling in.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting, I think.
Yeah. I think it's more down the line, I think. That's.
Yeah, they also changed the cultural makeup of the region as well. It's really interesting to see just how split up it is. Like, we've got Vietnamese is now in, it looks like, the Chinese culture group, which splits Zhuang off from the Thai group, and then Cham off from that group that they're in. It's a lot more interesting, the cultural makeup of the region. I just hope that it's not going to be an annoyance, because generally culture groups can be a little bit irritating to deal with. Not being able to accept as many as you ever want to. If you want to get the most out of this region, you're going to have to convert a lot of land, Yeah.
We also have
really does.
I think there's changes to Confucian bureaucracy. I don't have as many hours of the EU4 as like Lambert here, so.
Oh, I don't play in this region.
I don't think Confucian bureaucracy is a thing even at the moment, is it?
I think it might be new.
Yeah, I don't think it, because I'm pretty sure it's new.
There's also the examination system is a new government. Yeah, the examination system is definitely new.
Yeah, that is. I hope that's available to China, at least.
It's available to any nation that either has the Celestial Empire or Confucian bureaucracy reform.
Davia and Korea both have those.
And Confucian bureaucracy is definitely new.
Yeah.
And is initially granted to both Divet and so Vietnam and Korea.
Yeah, I was going to say, Confucian bureaucracy and the examination system make complete sense for Korea, and at the moment, without owning the mandate, there's no way of getting that sort of.
I don't think I'll go with that one, to be honest. I mean, if I had a choice, I don't know if you are able to freely switch from that one. I think advisor costs at the moment, there are so many ways right now to get that ridiculously cheap that 10% at the end of the day is not as big a deal, because there's so many other ways to get it.
Well, that's another thing too, is because when you get about 10% off, I mean, the only time I can think of when I would want that is when I was Emperor of China. Of course, if you're Emperor of China, you're not Confucian bureaucracy anyway. You're a mandate.
Oh, that's also your advisor maintenance.
Yeah.
Are the other options better? Well, some things are like just come from idea groups. The big ones now are coming from your estates, where you can say get 25% maintenance off for a little bit of maximum absolutism, which, absolute worth. Do it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You can get like James says, level 3 advisors for 3 ducats, level 5 advisors for 7 ducats. It's 10% is not as valuable really as I think they maybe think it is.
Yeah.
Oh, the other tier 1 options. I honestly can't remember what the rest of them are. I know one of them is vassal. Like, I think the one on the top left is feudal, which is like vassal force limit or vassal income, which, that's pretty bad. I don't know what the Chinese one there is. And
it's an extra merchant.
Extra merchant absolutely craps all over Confucian bureaucracy. Craps all over extra merchant all the way.
An extra merchant.
And I also don't know what the circle you want is.
Oh, it's a better one, and I probably should know that.
Hey, what's the time? What's the time? We've reached it.
I know.
He beat me.
I don't really play much Tibet in China, though, in EU4. Tragically.
There's the... Oh, look at that. Lambert, there's the Korean.
I remember what it is. It's vassal.
What?
Extra stuff from vassals. You get extra manpower, I think, or maybe force limit, and extra income, I believe. It's for Mandala system. That's what it's called.
I still think extra merchant is better.
Princess City, the Joseon period in Korea was when they were the closest to the Chinese model of Confucian bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. Before that, it was similar but different. It wasn't quite at that level yet.
It'd be nice if Korea changed its name depending on like the dynasty and what you're kind of doing in the game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like the modern word of Korea is based on Goryeo.
Yeah.
Because the G and the K sounds in Korean, actually the Hangul, are very similar. They're almost interchangeable in some ways.
I believe it's called Joseon in Mayon, Texas. There you go. Mark me down.
There you go.
I had to get it in there.
1 minute past Father Loris.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Vietnamese being part of a Chinese culture group. That seems a bit weird to me.
It's like, does it fit better with Thai? Honestly, I don't know enough to say yes or no. But
that's the thing. It's like Vietnam is one of those. It's a crossroad, right? It's not. It's got a huge mix of loads of different culture. It's kind of uniquely Vietnamese, but I wouldn't say it's Chinese.
Well, that's the thing with E4 now is they are not Turkish in the Levantine group with all of Arabia. That also doesn't make sense in this way. You can't really say anymore that a culture group really means anything solid, which is another reason why I'm not particularly a fan of them, because they don't mean anything. This culture and this culture are happier together, all right, but they don't interact with each other at all unless you are having that as your primary culture. Other than that you do know cultures don't interact with each other, so them being in a culture group means nothing. But, I don't know. Not a fan, but they do it for gameplay now, more than realism for cultures. So
imagine they've done that for a while, because Welsh has always been part of a British culture, not part of a Celtic culture, which is incorrect.
I always culture convert the Welsh anyways. Yeah.
but that is exactly the reason why they put it as a British culture, right? So you don't culture convert, but the AI, if it was Celtic, the AI would culture convert. Yeah, and that's the intention, right?
I think probably. Oh, go on then.
No, we also have a mission tree for Cham. Say that. Cham or Cham?
Champa.
Champion.
Is this Champa and their Cham culture?
Mm-hmm. The spice must flow. They are apparently learning from Frank Herbert. Which there's a Dune movie coming out this December.
Yeah, is it still coming out now? I mean, I thought it was probably delayed.
There's probably everything's delayed at this point.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Dune 2020. I love Dune. I convinced my 10th grade English teacher to let me do a book report on Dune because she had Lord of the Rings as one of the choices.
Oh, I love Lord of the Rings, yeah. I could never get into Dune. It was very tough.
I did do Lord of the Rings in another 9-week quarter, whatever. But
I didn't do Lord of the Rings for school. I just read it because I needed to, because it's amazing.
Yeah, I really liked it. And it was incredibly dyslexic. Obviously, still am incredibly dyslexic.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that something that goes away?
Yeah, it doesn't. You can tell from my spelling. Very poor spelling.
Yeah, Dune is one of the major influences on Warhammer 40K, so I'm looking forward to the new show. Very much so. It's
still scheduled for December 18th. And it's only going to be the first half of the book.
Yeah, I've not read the book though, so I don't.
You've not read the book?
I have not.
Lambert, shame! You need to read the book.
I've got an excuse. So,
I mean, I might have an excuse. You don't know.
It's good to be illiterate. Oh,
It's really good.
How can you be illiterate and live in bloody Wales?
Everyone's
He
illiterate
has
in Wales.
sheep. He doesn't need books.
I'm a product of a Welsh education system. It's great. I know what we should do with this incredibly dyslexic child. We should teach him Welsh and English so he learns neither of them. That's what we should do.
He's now learned English and he's halfway through one Welsh word. Yay!
I know road signs. Araf means slow.
Oh, there we go then.
Beat that.
Nailed it.
Saesneg.
Welsh has some ungodly long words. Yeah, like that Gogok one.
Yeah, although that is a tourist.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, just own it. Pretend. Yeah, not all of everywhere's like this. There is no. We just show the shortened versions of the really long names on most things.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Lambert? What
What's
stands
up?
out to me from this lovely image is the name of the blue blob down at the south.
Khmer?
The Khmer. We got to play with them, didn't we?
Oh, God, yeah, we did. Oh, fuck Khmer. damn them. No, yeah,
You know,
no, that's nice segue. Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to talk about humankind holding the fort, which we're just going to play my video footage from YouTube of that just in the background.
Oh, yeah, and there's one of those bastard elephants there.
Yes.
So the third humankind open dev scenario was released called Hold the Fort, where you, playing as the English, had to defend London and Oxford against a combined arms force of Khmer and Aztecs. And the scenario said it was going to take about an hour. This, in fact, was complete shit. It took me 2 hours. Your video is like 50 minutes long, so you've edited yours, right?
I cut some out. I cut out the turns where there were where there's occasionally no fighting.
All right.
And then I also had the AI kind of bug out at the end, so they weren't attacking me. So it's not as long as it really should be.
I mean, it's open dev. It's like pre-alpha. Having bugs at this stage is entirely reasonable. This is when you want the bugs.
Yes.
I did have a few people complaining. They said, "Oh, this game is so buggy." Well, yeah, fucking pre-alpha, dude. What do you expect? I don't get people.
Indeed. But I sent in the save file and they have the video, so
yeah,
I think they'll be working on fixing that.
Yeah, they I think they should be pretty happy with getting the video footage as well, because you get to see a bit more than you would otherwise when with just the questionnaire at the end. That some questions not worded amazingly. So I think if they watch the videos, which I know some of them are, then it's good.
And I know my biggest feedback is the fact that the trees look like gravel when you're in the battle.
Agree. I mean, you can see it there on your video right now, over on the right hand side. Yeah, I totally didn't realize that it was a forest until I was mousing over modifiers. Like, oh, that's what this is. It looked like rough terrain. Oh
yeah, that got me killed a couple times in that fourth scenario from the second section of open dev.
It actually got me killed in the first scenario for that. The one with the chariots. Yeah, that's where I learned about the trees.
Oh, I guess I just had good luck there. I demolished them.
I won as well. I did it twice because I tried to lose less of my own chariots. And I felt like I did a much better job, but still lost exactly the same amount.
You know what I discovered was really useful? Is as long as you're starting new sieges, you get new peasants. The peasants are just meat walls.
No,
they're
absolutely not. They're absolutely not. You lose a peasant, you lose a population.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? I wasn't paying attention to that.
I was like, I really need these peasants to not die, because Oxenford ended up having no production whatsoever. It was painful.
Oh. See, mine were just constantly sieged, so they were never building anything anyway.
Yeah, so I imagine I ended it with a better economy than you did.
Probably. Yeah. But I had lots of longbowmen that tried turning people into pincushions.
That's what English longbowmen are good for.
Yeah, English longbowmen are very powerful, right? I mean,
yeah.
Goodness.
I'm surprised you had nothing there about where longbow came from. Absolutely nothing. It was laid out for you.
It's already been established, you know.
Yeah,
what I think this scenario really showed was how important it is having walls when you're defending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's so much easier to murder them. Or the terrain.
Yes.
Yeah,
this
100%.
Oxenford. Oof.
This terrain is something you're going to have to keep in mind every single time you build a city. Yep. Where you want to build your city, where you want the walls to be, what kind of impassable terrain is around the place. It affects, and it is so impactful.
And also where you take up engagements too, right? I mean, it's really important if if you're on the defensive or attacking. If you can see not only the tiles they're sat on, but the tiles around them in that area, it means a hell of a lot, especially when it comes to range units. Or worst is if it's a choke point and there's a hill, and you have to go up that choke point uphill. I mean, it's basically a lost cause. You've lost the battle already before it even started.
Yes.
Like London is actually really poorly placed. Really, really poorly placed. Because there is a hill literally just outside the city walls, which really hurts, because then all of that bonuses you're getting for, being in defensive terrain behind the walls, completely negated because they're on a bloody hill. They got the high ground over you. You never want to have that happen. So you want to build your cities on high ground.
Mm-hmm. But that's a trade-off for the economy too, because generally building by rivers and building along coasts and stuff, which aren't generally on hills, also very good for your economy, right?
Yeah, true enough.
So there's certainly a trade-off there.
Oxford, though, was hard to defend in some ways.
Yes.
Because it is built low in a valley, too.
Yeah, so like every time that they were up, like one tile away from your walls, you had to fire uphill with your longbows, which really, really hurt. Mm-hmm. But then that stronghold on the cliffs, that never fell. That was a rock.
Oh yeah, that was a great spot. You park archers there.
Yeah,
so much easy.
I did have some trouble when the bloody elephants showed up, though. I had 2 elephants in one fight, and it's like so difficult. I almost lost it.
Did not have that happen.
Yeah, elephants. They were really, really strong. They have.
Oh, there's an elephant.
Yeah, they do so much damage and take so little damage and got so much health. Like my longbowman, I could have absolutely no bonuses, or I could have every single bonus possible, and I would still only be doing 5 to 10 damage because we were that much outmatched by them. I think they had like 48 strength or something. To get that many bonuses was just impossible. So it would take you, like, say you had 3 longbowmen, it'd take you a good 4 or 5 turns of just shooting that and not shooting at any of the other troops that the enemy had, just to take down the elephant. And I mean, that elephant can kill a cavalry behind walls in 3 turns. So it was rough. It was a tough fight. Very much a tough fight when they all rocked up. If they'd have saved him up and attacked with just like a pure elephant stack, they'd have walked over anything.
Oh, definitely. Those elephants, especially as they were ranged. So they were attacking you without ever taking any damage.
Yes. Yeah, it's like, oh, naha, I've got you now. You're standing on a river. You're downhill from me. I'm in the walls. Come and attack me now. It's like, oh no, you're not taking any damage. That's great.
Oh yeah, this elephant took forever to die. He's standing there in that little city building area.
So annoying. Bloody elephant. And speaking of elephants, we've got another one of the humankind cultures that have been teased. Yes. The Mughals, who also have an elephant. The one for Khmer was an elephant with no armor, and it had a big old crossbow on its head. Yeah. Mughals, they're way better because they've got armor on their elephants and a bloody cannon. Oh.
As Agamede says, we really need a Legolas.
We do. I mean, that should be
But
the
it still
Longbowman.
only counts as one.
Well, I think that it should count as 3. Look, there's 3 dudes. I disagree with Gimli. It should have totally counted as more than one. But yeah, I'm very much not looking forward to fighting against Mughals in humankind. Those elephants they're going to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure.
I had one of the devs in my stream with me when I was doing this, and he was saying that each one of those elephants you kill is a real hit to their economy because they're like I think 850 production each, which for comparison the longbowmen were something like 100, maybe 150, something like that.
It's certainly a trade-off because you can only field a certain number of troops in a battle.
Yeah.
So you can either field more armies with a lot of, well, I won't call longbows shits, but like they're cheaper, but worse than.
Oh yeah, there's a close-up of
worse than elephants.
The Khmer elephant.
I mean, still a pretty cool elephant. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I ship it. But yeah, as far as elephants go, I think the Mughals have gotten beat.
Like, he's got a cannon, hasn't he? So
yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with a cannon.
Exactly.
No.
Mount a cannon on an elephant. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. That's amazing. It's amazing. And obviously they've got
sorry
their...
for the poor elephant, though.
It's got earplugs, don't worry about it.
Think of the size of those earplugs.
I mean, it's just a few more Q-tips, isn't it?
That's right.
The Mughals they're builders, and they have a mosque for their special, not district. I want to keep calling them districts, but that's a Civ word.
Yeah. It's a quarter. Or
Quarters, there we go.
The Jama Masjid. So,
they're also called districts.
Friday mosque.
They're also called districts in Endless Legends too. So I guess it's...
So it's their own fault.
Yeah, it's
We'll go with that.
Civ stole it from Endless Legend.
Imagine 25,000 people all in a single building. That's crazy. Because that's a small football stadium, but it's not outside or anything. It's indoors. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Rosebud thinks he's crazy too.
Yes.
There we go. He
and
agrees
he's
with me.
dreaming as he gives opinions on it.
Yeah. And he's allowed to give his opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think
There's
the Mughals are going to be...
for this.
Yeah.
The Mughals are going to be very interesting to play as. I'm looking forward to that. Not looking forward to playing against them.
We also have When the Winged Hussars Arrive. I can't sing, but...
Now that you've played the game, do you think you'd be more open to playing as successive different cultures of different types? Do you think you'd ever do a playthrough where you're playing as the Celts and you switch to the Mughals? Or
no, honestly, no. I think I would rather have a tree system, and I think I'll play it that way. I can't ever see myself completely going a 180 on which culture I'm at. I just don't see it happening.
No, I think I'm the same.
I see it happening unless there's a storytelling reason. Like if you start as someone very peaceful, and then we're surrounded by warlike cultures, and we're constantly under threat, so we become more warlike ourselves.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I think, and I'd probably say if I'm playing as the Celts, I'd either go as whichever other European nation would be in the area, depending on the situation, right? But I certainly wouldn't go, Celts to
Chinese.
I don't know, China or Japan or something,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it would. These kinds of games are never ones that are, really heavy on the immersion anyway. I think that's probably why I'm not a massive fan of Civ. But I think this would be a step too far to do that kind of jump. It's just not. I can see myself going from, cultures that are relatively near each other and kind of doing, you can see it as a progression. But a full 180 is just not something I think I'll be into.
Yeah. I think I'll certainly do sort of believable alt history rather than...
exactly.
Yeah.
Can I believe that this culture evolved into this one? Sure.
Yeah.
So what, you don't like Irish Taoists living in Iceland?
No, I can't say I do. No, it seems like absolute heresy to me. That's
well, the
kind
Irish
of alt
fled
history I
there from the
don't like.
Norse.
Well, I will say that the Irish are the first people to set foot on Iceland.
Yes.
However, no. Just no. Oh, I hate it. What about Greek to Turk? That
Certainly.
makes sense.
Yeah. I'd 100% do that.
Yeah.
Well,
it depends on if
because you have all the Greek districts in your Turkish lands when you do that, right? Which would just feel great.
Yeah, I guess so.
Slap some minarets all over that shit. Just pile on those minarets. But, don't stop at the Hagia Sophia. Put fucking minarets on the Temple of Artemis. I want minarets at every temple.
Oh, God.
No, Jesus Christ.
And Laura said he likes art.
Yeah. I like tapestries, but tapestries, but you just put minarets on the side of, even better. 100% improvement.
Minaret your Bayo tapestry.
Yes,
just sew some minarets in there randomly.
And one on either side, so you know where it starts and you know where it ends,
Jesus,
you could string the Bayo tapestry between two minarets. Perfect.
Something wrong with you, man.
That's pure art, right?
All right. For our next culture, we got the Poles with their winged hussars.
Yeah, definitely the correct unit to have them.
Mm-hmm. It could be anyone else, right?
True.
Yeah.
Which, of course, they don't have cannons on their back, and the...
They got wings, though, mate. They can fly. It's great.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm totally
their quarters are fortified outposts that allowed archers and riflemen to fire down at besiegers.
Yeah.
See, this seems very similar to the emblematic quarter that the British get, the Stronghold. It's a bit iffy because I can't really see the difference between them based on just the text that we've got.
They're different eras.
Mm-hmm.
Are they? Oh, fair enough then. But it's still, at the same time, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. And the districts stay anyway, right? So if you build a stronghold, that stronghold will be there all the way up to the modern era, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with the Barbicans.
They don't go away.
Mm. Yeah.
The Poles are for the early modern era, and the British were what, medieval?
Yeah, I think. Oh, they're English. They're medieval.
The English, sorry.
Yeah.
I think so. I can't remember for sure, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I imagine they'll get better at designing distinctive cultures with special mechanics as they add DLC. Yeah, I would say so, probably.
Yeah, I think they'll just add lots of more of them. I think that's the trick.
So how's the What If campaign going there, Father Loris?
Yeah, it's going really well. There's some really, really good stuff coming out. Certainly, just look at the hashtag, and my goodness, I still love all these watercolors that this one person's producing. It's just sublime. It's very good. Yeah, big fan.
I like the one that's right at the top when you look at the hashtag. It's only the strongest memes will survive. So there's open dev memes is really struggling, and then just Roman memes just coming in and just winning.
I'll link this fella's the guy who's making all the watercolors. I'll link him in chat because I'm quite impressed with this work. It's very nice.
Yeah, here we go. Let's take a look at some of them here on stream.
This is what I like. I like a big flowering of creativity. It's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great that people aren't making Poland balls with strict rules.
No Poland ball, or we won't retweet you.
Yeah, God, no Poland balls allowed, please. You have to follow the rules.
Halbert, I use the incorrect term. It is the English in the medieval period, not the British.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Power and divine
Does
right.
British ethnicity make sense in the medieval times as opposed to English? It's kinda, because British didn't just come out of nowhere. It's named after the island, which is Great Britain, so it makes sense. And then that comes from Brythonic which is, I think, like the Welsh are like the only surviving Brythonics, as far as I know. It's like the Anglo-Saxons came in and just pushed them all into Wales.
Well, like it's British ethnicity is not really so much a thing, really. There's not so much a difference between the ethnicity of most of Western Europe, right? But like, I suppose as a united British culture, one doesn't even exist today. It's more of like Britain is more of a political idea, I guess. Very, very highly successful political idea.
Political idea and a government, not really.
Yeah, and I suppose we're all united in the speaking of the English language, well, mostly, I guess,
to some degree or other.
Yeah. We make no. We don't explain the people from Birmingham. We just don't bother. There's a thing entirely.
Or Geordies, like no one knows what they're on about.
I don't even care to try. Because even if I could understand them, all they do is talk shite. I'm allowed to say that. I'm from Middlesbrough.
Yeah, but the poor cousin of Newcastle.
Wow.
No, to be fair, that's
Jesus.
Yeah.
I hate how right you are.
Yeah, sorry.
At least our accent isn't terrible.
Yeah, you got Parmos, which are brilliant.
Yeah, we've got better food.
Yeah. Google a Parmo and it looks disgusting, but it's very nice.
Basic to explain it to Rose, it's like what are they called? Pork, like there's a word for it.
It's like a pork cutlet.
Never heard that word.
Yeah, breaded cutlet of chicken or pork.
It's like a schnitzel.
It's a pork cutlet.
Yeah.
It's like a schnitzel with breaded pork schnitzel with like
cheese and sauce.
Yeah.
White sauce and then cheese on top. It's just home. Yeah. It tastes like home.
I mean,
damn it! Now I'm all like nostalgic about England. I haven't been back in so bloody long. I need to go to Greg's. I miss Greg's.
That looks a lot definitely. Like just change the sauce out. And I've had cheese donkatsu over in Korea, which is breaded pork cutlet with cheese, and then they have the donkatsu sauce, which is a brown sauce.
Oh, damn, that looks lovely.
There's
okay,
donkatsu.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, Lambert, I think the Koreans have
for the looks, absolutely agree. But that isn't going to stop your heart. So I'm sorry. Exactly. In a bin.
I mean, no, that's a good point, actually. Okay, that looks lovely and all, the Korean one. Objectively nicer foods, but will you be craving it after 8 pints down the local club? And will you eat it till you throw up?
See, what you've just got up there, that's a chicken Kiev.
No, they've sliced it because they put cheese through the center and they wrap the pork cutlet around it and fry it.
Yeah, it's just chicken Kiev, mate. That's fine. But yeah,
it's not from Kiev.
Going out drinking, and then afterwards you come on with one of them.
Oh yeah, it's good.
The image that I just shared with you, though, or shared with chat, so good.
Oh, there's the Parmo. There you go, chat. There's a Parmo.
It just comes in a pizza box as well. It's like, so quaint.
I've only had it once and I threw up very soon after, but my goodness.
Not from the food. I bet it was for the drink.
Like a pizza.
It was a lot of drink and a lot of food, so it was probably a combination of it.
It
was very nice going down, not so much going up.
In Korea, where I lived in Daegu, on my way back home after being out drinking, there was always this little old ajumma, little old lady, with a food stand that was only there after like 11 p.m. at night to like 4 or 5 in the morning, and she sold little pizzas. They were like no bigger than the size of your palm, but she had pepperoni, and then she also had cheese, I think, or was it with peppers on? I don't remember. I always got the pepperoni. Those were so good after a night of drinking.
I imagine that sounds amazing. Just like a little pizza snack.
No, because if you're going out on a night out, you want a hearty meal. And a little pizza slice the size of your hand is not going to do it.
this is after. Like, you've already gone and you've had Korean barbecue.
See, I think I'm
You've
pre-programmed
had
to have like a sort of
mountains of meat with side dishes and lots of alcohol.
I do like meat and I do like alcohol.
Yeah.
So this does appeal.
Small of a picture. There you go. Treat yourself, all sorts of side dishes. There you go. And there's a picture with the alcohol on there. You got soju, little green bottles.
Yeah, soju's lovely.
In Korea, you can buy a bottle of that for basically $2.50 from a convenience store.
Oh, I miss cheap alcohol. Finland's not great for cheap alcohol.
No, I imagine.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, Korean barbecue. So you've done this, and then you've gone and checked out a bar or two, and then you're walking home or walking to the subway or the taxis or whatever, and then you stop and you pick up that little pizza.
Finland's cheap as hell. Meneth, I don't know what you're on about.
He's from Norway, so...
That's a special case. It's not Finland being cheap as hell. It's Norway being ridiculous.
Norway's obscene prices.
It's absurd.
Well, and then we also have tteokbokki, which I actually ate some yesterday. My husband made some.
I love
that. They look like sausages.
That's a rice cake.
Oh.
There's rice cake, there's fish cake, then you put like cabbages or other vegetables in there too. You can also get labokki, which has ramen noodles in it. Hard-boiled egg or a fried egg, but the sauce is sweet and spicy.
Not a fan of sweet and spicy sauce, honestly.
See, this is something that the Chinese have also got absolutely nailed, and it looks like the Koreans have too. Like sitting down and eating a meal and drinking and have a good time around a meal.
Oh, yeah. Whereas for us Europeans, it's like you have a drink and then you go for the meal.
Yeah.
Or rather,
like you sit down.
In the States, it's usually have a meal and then go for drinks.
Yeah. No, here in Wales, it's you go for drinks.
That is your meal.
Exactly. Yeah. if you're hungry, you have a Guinness.
And that's how you end up getting sick.
Yeah. Don't drink Guinness. It tastes like absolute dog.
It's good for you. The 1950s Post has told me that.
Oh, but you know what's really good is you go to a Gimbap Chungu place, which is kind of like a little snack food store. Like you get heartier meals there too, but you get a thing of tteokbokki, and then you get some gukmandu, which is fried dumplings.
I think I've offended Val again. Guinness is good? Nah, mate. I've had Guinness from Ireland, and it's fucking awful. I'm not much of a beer guy in general. Like cider is my drink of choice, but not a fan.
There you go.
I think I've had something like that.
Yeah. I love it.
When does this turn into the barbecue pit?
Is the dough is so thin.
Yeah, so I think I've had something like
lots of meat and vegetables on the inside.
I mean, I wolf down any sort of dumplings, be it pierogi, Chinese dumplings. Oh, there's some great stuff in Mongolia. Okay, there was a thing called hoshu, right? And they were cheap as dirt because the meat inside of it was basically the worst meat possible. But it was inside a huge dumpling, deep fried with loads of spices, so you can't taste how awful the meat is. And it was greasy, and it was about 2 pence for each pie. Basically, it was just the best. It was amazing. Hoshu, it's called. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
I think this is the best review I have ever had of me. Half the time I'm nodding along, agreeing with Lambert and cheering him on, and the other half I'm calling for his death for being wrong. Oh, yeah. God. If I had space on my Twitter profile, that would be going there.
All right, we should move off food, though. Because,
before we move off food, just controversially, British food ain't shit. End of story.
No, it's very home comfort kind of food.
Yeah, it's just we've got a reputation that I believe is incredibly unearned. I just want to put the record straight. Food is not terrible.
I mean, I would half disagree. I would say our food is shit, but it makes you feel good.
It's comfort food. It's
food that makes you feel good ain't shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I wouldn't say if I was like, if I was saying come to Britain, I wouldn't say come to Britain, you got to try our food. You know what I mean? Like, I would sell it on other things first. Whereas, like, say if I was saying,
the thing about comfort food is it's not always like the most flavorful, but it fills you up and it warms your heart when you're having it.
Yeah. I mean, like, so, like, you know, if you're in like a cold evening, you know, and in like in the rain in Britain, and you have like some spam, egg, and chips, that's fucking great. I mean, sure, it's not fine dining, but it's brilliant.
Curry cheese chips.
Well,
oh, lovely.
Southern food here in the U.S. is very similar in many ways, and the fact that it's comfort food.
Yeah. Well, some of those look like they do fantastic, like meat dishes, because I've seen all this Texas barbecues and stuff, and they just look incredible. And
barbecue is its whole different thing. There's slow cooked smoked meat. That's Southern, but it's like its own little subgenre area. Like think of meat pies in the UK.
Yeah,
people in the States love chicken pot pies, and that's like one that's carried over here.
It's a bit of a stereotype. I think it's a good stereotype because it's good value for money, but like the servings in America are like so big. I mean, but like big hearty meals like that, my goodness.
Because you've got this little box you can bring it all home in afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I would do. Just take it all home, right? I mean, it's great value. So much food.
The only thing that don't really come home very well are like French fries.
Yeah, it's the same here. Yeah, bit cardboard in it. You don't reheat a chip. Ugh, no chance.
Right now, I'm being accused of being hungry and being told that we've turned this into the barbecue pit, which is a channel on my Discord that just talks about food.
I've been on a diet for like 5 months, 6 months, something like that now. Yeah.
I've been on the opposite because every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday there's half-price food in the UK. It's taxpayer-funded kebabs every single Monday. Oh,
I love
Tuesday
kebab.
and Wednesdays. Wow. It's amazing.
Kebabs like my choice. Like
same, yeah.
See, I'm like going out constantly hungry, which is apparently a thing that happens to some women when we breastfeed. I'm just like I'm eating granola bars in the middle of the night because I wake up to feed him. Yeah. And I'm starving. My stomach feels like I didn't eat anything before I went to bed. And I did.
It makes sense, right? You're still eating for two, essentially, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not losing weight, but I'm not gaining weight either. I'm just always flipping hungry.
Well, that's perfect, right? You can eat all you want and you don't put on weight. It's perfect. Win-win.
Yeah.
I wish I had that because my goodness, I swear I've probably put on a lot of weight. I could probably start breastfeeding too. The amount of kebabs I've been eating, it's fucking grim.
That's grim, mate. Yeah.
I've put on so much weight over lockdown. Not good.
It's quarantine pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not.
And then we have James in chat saying he needs 4,000 calories a day to not lose weight for medical reasons. But wow.
I know, but. Don't make me jealous of your medical reasons. Fuck no. That's rude. Yeah.
Well, speak for goodness, we are kind of way off topic here.
Yeah.
But so humankind, the Mughals, they're pretty good.
Yes.
Wait, we weren't even on the Mughals, were we? We're on the poles.
Yeah,
we're past the pools. I think we're like in the deep end of the pool now.
How did we get onto food?
I
have no idea.
We're talking about pizzas.
The tangent that lost itself.
Hey, that's a good name for this episode. The tangent that lost itself.
Yeah, there we go. I'm liking it. I thought it was going to be something about food, but sure.
We could very briefly touch on. I guess we didn't discuss this beforehand either, but Frostpunk's coming out soon. I don't know if that's kind of related to Grand Strategy. I don't know.
I would say it's a strategy game. Sure.
Yes, it is strategic.
Yeah, so it's a new Frostpunk DLC coming out tomorrow, actually.
Is that the one you play on a cliff?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And you sort of set up little settlements around your settlement.
Basically, like, the Ice Age has happened during the 1800s and it's become steampunk.
That's right, yeah. And then this is a sequel to the original. So the first one you set up a town called New London. And this is after you set up a town called New London. And they've set off a little expedition. And you have to trade for, interesting enough, food. But you can't generate food yourself. You can't go hunting or you can't go farming or anything. So you have to trade food with all the surrounding settlements.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
I never got around to playing Frostpunk.
Oh, it's definitely worth checking out. It's a very, very good game.
It just seemed too grim. And I think when it came out, it was the middle of winter. Here in Finland, it's like negative 34 degrees. I'm like, yeah, I'm too cold to play this game. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, when it came out, the Beast from the East was striking here. I think it was like the coldest winter on record.
I think I played it first a year later, and then I played the DLC, which actually, the DLC was kind of a prequel.
Yeah, that was for the last autumn.
You're building the giant generator to keep you warm.
That was a really good DLC, actually. I was a huge fan of that one.
So this
really challenging.
This Cliffside one is not. It's not a DLC. It's a full sequel.
No, it's a DLC.
Oh, it's a DLC. Okay. You said sequel. I was like, wait, this is. I didn't know this.
It's a DLC.
Chronologically, I guess. It's after the events of the first game. First, main game. It's a new scenario for the main game, and it's like a. Yeah, you know what I mean. Time-wise,
On the Edge is the name of the expansion.
Sound like you said on the egg, but maybe that's because I've got food on the brain.
But yeah, it seems very good. I very much recommend that game. Tomorrow it's coming out though.
Sounds cool.
Jake, DDR Jake is probably a very good place to go check those videos out. He's incredibly good at the game. He's probably, I don't know if he's going to, you know how he got into QA through just breaking EU4. Get into QA for Frostpunk now for breaking Frostpunk because my goodness, he can do wizards. He's a wizard at that game, basically.
Lovely.
All right, but I think we need to wrap this up.
Probably, yeah.
So, Lambert, what are you up to? Where can we find you?
I am currently playing EU4 and Imperator, and what else am I playing? Things I can't talk about. But you can find me over on YouTube called Lord Lambert there, and I will find some links in a moment. I'm just trying to struggle to get them. It came to me first, damn it. But yeah, no, things are going well with all my
because there's
series.
no TJ to go to me first.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. So yeah, I'm over on YouTube. You can check me out there. It's a good time, and yeah, it's good.
And how about you, Loris? What are you up to?
I've been kind of boring. I've been working on my house, doing some DIY and stuff. So nothing gaming related, sadly. I mean, actually, no, I played a little bit of SimCity Societies. I'm playing a fair bit of that.
Wow.
Now, that is a very old game, and nobody liked it.
That is.
I absolutely love that game.
How does it compare to City Skylines?
It's a very different style.
I mean, if I'm going to be a real heretic here and just say that I prefer city builders that are not 100% realistic. I was one of those weird people who liked the new SimCity with the mega towers and the sci-fi elements and all that stuff. And
Did you ever play SimTown?
No, I didn't. It seems like something up my street though. If it's the one I'm thinking of.
There's like a burger joint that was like a clown's head and stuff. It was basically SimCity for little kids. My sister and I played that almost as much as we played Sim Park.
It was kind of like Animal Crossing, a little bit.
I guess.
That's something I need to get back into. I've abandoned my Animal Crossing town. It's been dead for months now.
I never picked it up. I don't have a Switch, so...
I bought a Switch just to play Animal Crossing. That's how much I love
I don't think you're alone in that. I think quite a lot of people did the same.
Yeah.
I played so much Animal Crossing on the GameCube as a kid.
What are you doing, Rose?
I'm Enigmatic Rose 4, and there's no streams planned for maybe the next 2 weeks, but there will definitely be lots of streams in September, streaming the game we cannot voice opinions on.
That one.
Over on YouTube, I'm finishing up my last CK2 series, that heretical Irish Taoist Iceland. Constantinople just got burned by the Aztecs, by the way, and so did Rome.
You're not helping yourself yet. Oh god.
And then of course there will be, more content of the game that we cannot voice opinions on when we are allowed to voice opinions on it.
Speaking of that game, obviously me and you are probably going to have a series on our channels. I think that's fair to say. That's not breaking embargo to say that there will be series on the channel. What's your first one going to be? Do you know it yet?
I do know it, but I can't say that yet because I'll probably also be playing it in the Creator Coliseum.
I'm going with different person for that. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to spoil who we're playing in the Coliseum though.
No.
So just me then. Actually, you know what? You can find out when it's out who I'm playing.
I'm pretty chuffed with what I got.
I would like to give a quick shout out to the Creator Coliseum, which will be taking place on September 1st.
Yeah.
For about 6 hours.
That's going to be
and is organized by Midgemand in conjunction with Paradox Interactive to host a big giant multiplayer game where we all either hug each other or we stab each other in the back.
Yeah, or both.
Both at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to stab someone if you're already hugging them. You just wrap your arms around.
That's
shank,
true.
shank, shank. It's great.
But what if they're doing that to you at the same time? That's when you get some issues.
Shankception. What's the betting you will accidentally tell me while playing F1 or Dirt? No. I do not. I do not. No, stop. No, but yeah, definitely check out the Creator Coliseum. I've just linked their Twitter. They've got links to their YouTube, and I assume probably there's a Twitch link on there somewhere. Yeah,
there is a trailer. Actually, let's put the trailer up real quick.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I would say we're
really good.
We're all in it.
Also
in it.
Yeah, we are all going to be in it, and also you can. Just play the trailer and then we'll talk about the trailer afterwards.
Yes, unmute.
Because there is a part of the trailer that I just want to point out because it's funny.
And there we go.
Yeah,
that was made by Midgman.
Yeah, this is a pretty damn good job, I reckon.
Yeah, that's also his hand in the actual trailer.
Is it? I didn't realize he was that hairy.
Yeah, no, that was my point. That was what I was going to point out. Midge is incredibly hairy on the hands.
I didn't know that. He's like a gorilla boy.
Yeah, tell me about it. And he's got like no facial hair at all. But like,
he doesn't.
But like the hairiest hands in existence.
He's got like a baby face.
He does. He really does. I wouldn't have put him a day over like 14.
Oh, this is where like from his neck down, he's going to be like the hairiest man alive. Just never shows it.
All right. On that note, guys, we'll see you next week.
Midge knows I love him, so he's not going to be offended.
Yeah, we all love Midge.
He's great.
Star.
Midge is great, but we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Ta.